Bob and Renee Parsons, 2019 Scottsdale History Hall of Fame honorees. Bodaciously bold in business and fervently focused on philanthropy, Bob and Renee Parsons make Scottsdale an exciting, innovative, and caring community every day. This entrepreneurial couple has a knack for identifying emerging trends and critical needs, then creating successful companies or providing impactful grants to meet those needs. And as Bob reminds us in one of his 16 rules of business, there's always a reason to smile. Bob grew up in a blue-collar neighborhood in Baltimore, then joined the U.S. Marine Corps at age 17. Wounded in Vietnam, he returned to Baltimore to work in a steel mill while earning his degree in accounting. As a CPA in the early 1980s, Bob sought more efficient ways to serve his clients. He taught himself how to program on first-generation personal computers and develop tax software, which he allowed initial buyers to share for free with others. 10 years after starting Parsons Technology in Iowa, he sold the company to Intuit for $64 million. In 1996, he moved to Scottsdale, intending to play lots of golf. Soon becoming restless, Bob started Jomax Technology. The Scottsdale Air Park-based company, renamed GoDaddy, was at the leading edge of web domain name registration in the late 1990s, providing great customer service at a competitive price. Bob and his team built GoDaddy into a worldwide success before he resigned as CEO to focus on growing other ventures about which he is personally passionate. Today, he is founder and CEO of Scottsdale-based Yam Worldwide, known for its portfolio of companies in the fields of motorcycles, golf, real estate, finance, marketing, innovation, and philanthropy. Renee LaBelle Parsons was raised in the Midwest in a family of hospitality entrepreneurs. During high school, she worked in the family restaurant. Renee went on to receive her bachelor's degree in hospitality and business at Central Michigan University and began a career in hotel sales and marketing, first in Chicago, later in Scottsdale. After marrying Bob in 2009, Renee joined GoDaddy and launched its corporate events department, which later included the company's corporate outreach and giving program. Today, she is an executive in Yam Worldwide and president of PXG Apparel. She leads many of the construction and design projects at Scottsdale National Golf Club and the creation of a new, expanded PXG apparel line for women and men. In 2012, the couple established the Bob and Renee Parsons Foundation. They also joined the Giving Pledge, committing to donate half of their fortune to charity. In making more than 300 grants to 110 partner organizations, the goal of their foundation has been to empower, educate, nurture, and nourish people during what is often the darkest times of their lives. Their multi-million-dollar gifts to Make-A-Wish Arizona have funded the Wish House in Scottsdale and granted hundreds of wishes to children with serious medical conditions. They have boosted the McDowell-Sonoran Conservancy Citizen Science Initiative by funding the Bob and Renee Parsons Field Institute. The Parsons' local generosity has also extended to major programs or facilities for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Scottsdale. Stars, Honor Health, Hope for Haiti, the Joe Foss Institute, the Muhammad Ali Parkinson Center at Barrow, the Girl Scouts Arizona Cactus Pine Council, and Free Arts for Abused Children of Arizona. The Parsons Foundation has been particularly generous to the Semper Fi Fund and other organizations benefiting wounded warriors, veterans, and their families. Bob and Renee share a passion for playing golf, creating successful companies, and making game-changing grants to worthy organizations. They are also passionate about Scottsdale. Bob often says that the city of Scottsdale makes it easy to do business here by being incredibly well managed, clean, safe, and beautiful, all of which helps attract a large and talented workforce. Yam Worldwide companies and properties have created hundreds of jobs in Scottsdale and millions in economic impact by offering a wide range of technology, business, retail, and golf services. But the Parsons don't just own businesses here. As big-hearted residents, Bob and Renee have ensured that Scottsdale and the greater Phoenix area tends to the health and well-being of its residents, especially its veterans, families, and children. As Bob often says, Arizona is the last great state for business, and we're just glad the Parsons chose to both live and do business in Scottsdale. Jeff Meyer, 2019 Scottsdale History Hall of Fame. Jeff Meyer is an expert at growing things. From landscaping businesses to Valley civic and sports organizations, Jeff has expanded and strengthened whatever he's undertaken. And boy, has he had fun along the way. Born and raised in North Dakota, Jeff was a sports enthusiast from an early age. He moved to Scottsdale's McCormick Ranch with his family in 1979. While earning his bachelor's degree in business at Arizona State, he attended his first Cactus League games and started his first landscaping business. After graduation in 1983, he and classmate Ben Snyder launched Arrowhead Landscaping and Maintenance, based in Scottsdale but operating valley-wide. It was listed among the top 500 fastest-growing private companies in the nation for 3 consecutive years and won Valley Forward's Crescordia Award for environmental design. Jeff co-founded Desert Care Landscaping in 1992 with Mark and Vince Rector, and again built an award-winning Scottsdale company. Joining with 6 other companies, Desert Care became Land Care USA, which went public on the New York Stock Exchange. Jeff was appointed to its board of directors. In 2009, Jeff founded Desert Care Landscape Resources and continues to serve as its president. His companies have been recognized for desert tree salvage and cactus preservation, and Jeff's landscape planning has been key to the environmentally sensitive development of Scottsdale communities such as Desert Mountain, DC Ranch, Stonegate, Terra Vita, Greyhawk, Whisper Rock, and McDowell Mountain Ranch. While growing his companies, Jeff made time to serve his community and pursue his passion for sports. He was a charter member of the Scottsdale Active 2030 Club, served as race day chair for the 1989 Duck Race, and chaired Night Flight 3, the club's signature golf fundraiser. As event coordinator for the Dream Game, a benefit for Phoenix Memorial Hospital, he met the idol of his youth, baseball legend Harmon Killebrew. The two became friends, and Harm appointed Jeff to his foundation board, which provided funding for the Miracle League of Arizona ball field in Scottsdale. Jeff is also a past chair of the Arizona Board of Trustees for the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation, which has supported the Boys and Girls Club of Scottsdale. Jeff became a Scottsdale Charo in 1995 and has served as baseball chair, patron, and president of the Charo Foundation. He served on the Charo committee that planned the 50th anniversary of spring training in Scottsdale and often played on the Charo golf team in the annual tournament with the Phoenix Thunderbirds. Honored for his amazing ability to raise record amounts of money for the Charos and their charitable grant making, he was named Charo of the Year and also received the Dave Hallstrom Award. Jeff began representing the Charos on the Cactus League board in 2001. He was elected as president of the Cactus League in 2016 and re-elected to a second 2-year term in 2018. He has become the face of the Cactus League organization, working tirelessly to promote spring training here in Arizona. Jeff has served on the board of the Arizona Sports and Tourism Authority since 2011 and was its chair during Super Bowl 49. He also served on the Arizona Organizing Committee for the NCAA Men's Final Four basketball tournament in 2017, the same year that Governor Ducey appointed Jeff to the Arizona Tourism Advisory Council. A Scottsdale love story. Jeff married the girl next door, Allison, in 1988. They have 4 children. The Meyer family enjoys time together in Scottsdale as well as summers at a lake house in Minnesota. He has an awesome man cave full of sports memorabilia where he loves to relax with family and friends. Scottsdale and Arizona are more environmentally and beautifully landscaped, more enriched and entertained by sports, and more generous to youth organizations thanks to Jeff Meyer's leadership. This landscaping entrepreneur definitely has a green thumb when it comes to cultivating business and civic success in Scottsdale. Jim Wellington, 2019 Scottsdale History Hall of Fame. From minor league baseball pitcher to utility executive to Scottsdale civic leader, Jim Wellington was the consummate team player. Known for his insight, impeccable manners, and respect for the opinions and input of others, Jim served over 50 years in volunteer leadership positions on Scottsdale area boards and commissions. Scottsdale lost a true gentleman and champion when Jim passed away in November 2018. Jim Wellington was born and raised in Iowa, leaving in 1949 to play minor league baseball for the New York Yankees. Earning the nickname Fireball Wellington, he also pitched for the Williams Air Force Base Jets during his service in the U.S. Air Force. Jim received his bachelor's degree in business from Arizona State in 1956, moved to Scottsdale, and started a 33-year career with Arizona Public Service. While raising his family here, he got involved in neighborhood and school district activities. Elected to the Scottsdale Unified School Board in 1970, Jim served as its president in 1975. That same year, he became president of the Arizona School Board Association. Jim also served on the Maricopa Community College Foundation. Dedicated to education, lifelong learning, and as a voracious reader himself, he was appointed to the Scottsdale Library Board in the 1970s. Jim served for many years on the board of the Friends of the Scottsdale Public Library, including a year as president. He was also appointed to the Maricopa County Library District Advisory Committee. As a neighborhood advocate and physical watchdog, he was appointed to Scottsdale's Planning and Zoning Commission in the 1980s, a critical time in Scottsdale's development. With his extensive experience in studying Scottsdale issues, Jim served on the 1983 Citizen Bond Committee, the City Shape 2020 Advisory Committee, the Scottsdale Personnel Board, and chaired the Los Arcos Multi-Facility District Board. While serving his community, he also followed his passions for baseball and history. He was involved in American Legion baseball for decades, serving as chair of the Arizona American Legion baseball program in 1992. Having met his idol, Stan Musial, as a young man, Jim also realized a lifelong dream by attending the St. Louis Cardinals fantasy camp. A Civil War history buff, he was a founder and first president of Scottsdale Civil War Roundtable, the largest such group in the country. In retirement, he also volunteered at Mayo Hospital, on the Hospice of the Valley Speakers Bureau, and as chair of the Arizona Board for the Recording for the Blind and Dyslexic. He was active in the Desert Hills Presbyterian Church and quietly supported local veterans projects. As involved as Jim was in community leadership, he most enjoyed spending time with his wife Ann and their blended families. In a memoir he wrote for his children and grandchildren, he said, "Live life to the fullest. Enjoy yourself and take chances. The worst risk in life is not taking any risks. Remember, the life you're living now is the real thing. Life is not a dress rehearsal." How fortunate Scottsdale was to have gentleman Jim Wellington as a leader, neighbor, and friend for over 60 years. Ken Harder, 2019 Scottsdale History Hall of Fame. From banking and business to the Chamber of Commerce, city commissions, and the Charros, Ken Harder has ensured that Scottsdale is the best place in America to live, work, and play. Focused on three priorities: family, career, and community service, Ken has dedicated countless hours of leadership to Scottsdale area commercial, civic, and charitable organizations since 1989. Ken spent his youth in Illinois, earned a degree in economics from the University of Illinois Chicago, and an MBA from DePaul in the early 1970s. He began a 34-year career with Northern Trust Bank, first in Chicago, then in Arizona. Based in the Phoenix-Scottsdale area, he held executive positions as Northern Trust's Senior Credit Officer, Senior Banking Officer, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Operating Officer, and Executive Vice President. In 2002, he was elected to the Federal Home Loan Bank of San Francisco Board, representing Arizona financial institutions who were members of this cooperative. Ken retired from banking in 2007. After moving to Scottsdale in 1989, Ken met Scottsdale Mayor Herb Drinkwater and business leader Bob Mayfield through their service on Northern Trust's board. They encouraged him to get involved. he immediately joined the Scottsdale Chamber of Commerce and was appointed to the Scottsdale Industrial Development Authority. He quickly became a sought-after board member, particularly for his business and financial expertise. As a volunteer business leader, Ken served as the Scottsdale Chamber's Vice President of Economic Development and was the Chamber's board chair during its 50th anniversary year in 1997. To encourage entrepreneurial activity, he served on the Scottsdale-based Arizona Technology Incubator Board, and to promote business retention and expansion, Ken was active on the Scottsdale Partnership Board and Greater Phoenix Economic Council throughout the 1990s. Ken has served for over 25 years on City of Scottsdale boards and commissions, including the Citizens Budget Review Committee, City Shape 2020, and the Downtown General Plan Committee. During his 6 years on the Scottsdale Redevelopment Board, the city attracted Nordstrom, which helped re-energize the downtown area. While serving on the Industrial Development Authority, the city issued what was then the largest bond issue for the expansion of Scottsdale Healthcare's Osborne campus, again enhancing Scottsdale's downtown. Ken continues to serve as a director on the Scottsdale Municipal Property Corporation and the Scottsdale Preserve Authority. A Scottsdale Charo since 1991, Ken has served as Ride Camp Boss, Treasurer, Vice President, and on the Charo Foundation Board. During his year as baseball chair, he secured the rights for a majority of the advertising in Scottsdale Stadium, and with Tom Davis, proposed adding the Charo Lodge to Scottsdale Stadium. These initiatives have helped the Charos generate revenue that the group grants to youth organizations and other community programs. Regionally, he has been a member of the Phoenix Zoo Board and is a member of the ASU President's Club. Ken is an avid golfer and member of the Scottsdale Corvette Club. He and his wife Fran have traveled to 70 countries, with more on their bucket list. Despite his love of travel, there's nothing he enjoys more than spending time with his adult children and grandchildren. For over 30 years, Scottsdale has been enriched and enhanced by Ken's vision, financial prowess, and heartfelt enthusiasm for the place he and his family call home. A champion of economic vitality and sustainability, Ken Harder has demonstrated he is a leader we can bank on. Pun intended. Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community 2019 Scottsdale History Hall of Fame honoree. Honoring ancestral roots that span thousands of years, the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community is committed to a vision that respects its historic culture while embracing opportunities for its members and future generations. Scottsdale is fortunate to have such a thoughtful neighbor, partner, and friend. As original inhabitants of the land, in January 1879, the U.S. government, through President Rutherford B. Hayes, gave aboriginal title to lands that expanded over 100,000 square miles to the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community. 6 months later, in June 1879, those lands were reduced to just over 52,000 acres due to the increased settlers arriving in the West. These lands were set aside for Pima and Maricopa families, who irrigated and farmed the land. In the 1890s, Winfield Scott and other settlers of Scottsdale became neighbors. In a show of hospitality, the Pima and Maricopa welcomed and helped the newcomers learn how to survive in a desert environment. Although cautious about commercial development on their sacred land, the Salt River community began to consider select business opportunities when laws were passed allowing long-term leases of tribal land. Beginning in the 1960s, the community and its business partners operated the Tri-City Landfill, as well as recreational facilities like the Beeline Dragway, Red Mountain Trap and Skeet, and the Cypress Golf Course. In the late 1960s, the community worked with Cy Eisner and Associates to develop a general plan for the community. Eisner had also worked with Scottsdale to develop its general plan a few years earlier. Today, 19,000 acres of Salt River's land is held as natural preserve, and 12,000 acres are under cultivation for a variety of crops. Always mindful of the cultural, educational, and health needs of its members, community facilities and programs were developed in the 1960s through the 1980s, such as the Aid to the Elderly program, the Community Cultural Center, Pi Copa Gymnasium, Head Start program, and the Huhugam Key Museum. Scottsdale Community College became one of Salt River's hallmark partnerships with Scottsdale and Maricopa County when the campus opened in September 1970. Two decisions significantly impacted the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community in the late 1980s. First, the state proposal to route the Loop 101 Pima Freeway through tribal land involved intricate negotiations regarding the freeway's future effects on the community. Then Tribal Council President Ivan Makel said, "We return to the wisdom of our ancestors to be patient," and resulted in 9 interchanges, new homes for affected residents, culturally relevant designs on freeway walls and overpasses, and opportunities to develop a commercial corridor along the route. Second, the advent of Indian gaming in Arizona prompted numerous Salt River community discussions in order to weigh the long-term pros and cons. After much research and input, the community voted in favor of entering the gaming industry, then worked with other tribal communities and state residents to pass 2 statewide gaming initiatives, the first tribe ever to do so. As part of the Indian Gaming Preservation and Self-Reliance Act of 2002, Salt River and other tribal communities agreed to share 12% of gaming revenue annually to invest in education, healthcare, conservation, tourism, and the economies of local communities. Many City of Scottsdale and nonprofit programs have been strengthened thanks to this shared revenue. Salt River has also been a major benefactor of the Translational Genomics Consortium and its medical research. Scottsdale and the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community have been partners in tourism since the 1990s. Salt River markets its hospitality venues through Experience Scottsdale, emerging its tourism through Discover Salt River and the Talking Stick Entertainment District. Visitors to properties in both communities enjoy a culturally rich and a unique entertaining experience through easy access to the area's amenities. The Talking Stick Entertainment District provides firsts in many elements for the community. Surrounding Talking Stick Resort, the area has become a regional destination, offering everything from golf, butterfly exhibit, indoor skydiving, and aquarium to restaurants, casinos, shopping, and more. Salt River Fields, the spring training home for the Arizona Diamondbacks and Colorado Rockies, was the first Major League Baseball facility to open on tribal land in the U.S. and draws thousands of visitors to the greater Scottsdale area. Business parks on tribal land along Loop 101 have attracted companies in office, retail, medical, finance, technology, hospitality, entertainment, and education industries that provide employment to Salt River, Scottsdale, and Valley residents alike. Despite the changes that have occurred on the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community in the past 3 decades, the Tribal Council and its community members remain faithful to their culture and heritage. They invest in programs that benefit children, nature, science, education, and health. They strictly adhere to culturally and environmentally appropriate design of buildings and infrastructure. They maintain ties to their ancestors by practicing the arts and ceremonies of their culture, and they place great importance on sharing who they are, how these lands have always been their territorial homelands, and how they have shared and provided hospitality with non-community members. For over 130 years, Scottsdale has benefited from the wisdom, vision, and friendship offered by the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. They have enriched our lives and the lives of the entire region by sharing their culture, deep appreciation for the natural environment, and respect for past, present, and future generations. Sugar Bowl, 2019 Scottsdale History Hall of Fame. It's pink. It's popular. It's a purveyor of sandwiches, sundaes, and celebrations. It's Scottsdale's beloved Sugar Bowl, a mainstay in Old Town since 1958. Family-owned, operated, and focused, the true 1950s ice cream parlor has attracted generations of residents and visitors looking to satisfy their sweet tooth in cozy, affordable style. Former Chrysler sales and marketing executive Jack Huntress moved his family from the Midwest to Scottsdale in 1957. While dining with his wife and young children at Lulu Bell's on Main Street, he overheard adults at the next table commenting that it was not appropriate for him to bring kids into a restaurant that served alcohol. Thinking about it, Jack realized they were right. He also realized there were no family-themed restaurants here at the time and decided to do something about it. His friend Larry Ives offered to lease him a building on the southeast corner of Scottsdale Road and First Avenue that had been vacated by Western Motor Service. Jack admired Blum's ice cream parlor at San Francisco's Mark Hopkins Hotel and set about replicating it with a Scottsdale twist. The Sugar Bowl opened on Christmas Eve 1958 and a legend was born. Well, almost. Some wags at the time said 15-cent scoops of ice cream were too pricey for Scottsdale and doubted the place would succeed. They were proved wrong, and the tea sandwiches, ooey gooey sundaes, Camelback sodas, and spectacular banana bowl menu items are as popular today as they were at opening. Local graphic artist Pat Thompson designed the original menu. Only the prices have changed over 6 decades. Cartoonist Bill Keane often stopped in for a treat, incorporated the Sugar Bowl into many of his nationally syndicated Family Circus comics, then gave the Sugar Bowl his drawings for display. By the 1980s, having served as Scottsdale Chamber of Commerce president and mayor of Paradise Valley while running the Sugar Bowl, Jack Huntress was ready to retire. Luckily, his nephew Carol Huntress, a recent graduate of Arizona State and unchallenged by a desk job in his hometown of Milwaukee, was looking for a new opportunity. Carol, who had visited his uncle as a child and was impressed that there was an ice cream parlor in the family, accepted Jack's invitation to come learn the restaurant business. Carol started by washing dishes, progressed through back and front of house positions, and purchased the Sugar Bowl in 1985. While downtown Scottsdale has evolved and updated around the Sugar Bowl, Carol Huntress has worked to keep things the same within the historic restaurant. He says that focus on sameness is customer-driven. Many visitors come straight to the Sugar Bowl from the airport or freeway, even before checking into their hotel, just to make sure it's still there and still the same. Carol admits to a few changes. He's had to upgrade technology, adhere to ever stricter food service regulations, and provide quicker service. Mindful of his restaurant's prime location, he chaired the Downtown Scottsdale Partnership for several years and ensured that the Sugar Bowl was listed on Scottsdale's Historic Register in 2002. The Sugar Bowl provided the first job for many Scottsdale teens, and employee longevity is impressive. Paula Cano holds the record, having worked there 42 years. The ambiance, comfort food menu, and customer service have attracted multi-generations of diners. A host of celebrities have enjoyed the Sugar Bowl too, including Dennis the Menace cartoonist Hank Ketchum, Nancy Reagan's parents Loyal and Ruth Davis, actors David Hartman, James Cagney, John Travolta, and Leslie Nielsen, actresses Lillian Gish and Emma Stone, and sports stars Jose Cardinal and Dennis Rodman, among others. Thank you, Sugar Bowl and the Huntress family, for giving us a delicious, family-friendly, affordable gathering place. You've been a model business and an icon in Scottsdale's downtown. You've hosted countless birthday parties and milestone celebrations. Best of all, you've given us a great excuse to stop calorie counting and indulge to our heart's delight.